So you got yourself a brand new Fire Stick and you need to know how to install it on your television. Well, don't even open the box yet. I'm going to show you how. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to DFM TV. I am Dan the Fire Stick Man. On this video I am going to show you how to properly install your Fire Stick on your TV. And I'm going to show you every detail, including how to open the box all the way to plugging in your Fire Stick to the power and to the HDMI on behind your TV. There's going to be a lot of pictures here, so it's going to be a lot of visuals so you guys don't get lost. But if you have any questions or if you like how this video went, please leave me a comment below. Let me know if everything went okay or if there's something that I missed that you may need help on. I'll be more than happy to get back to you on that. Let's get started. So everybody has the 4K Fire Stick box. This is it right here. And the Fire Stick box, we're gonna open it. And I have to show you how to open it. The reason why is because I've seen a lot of people tear these boxes up because they don't know exactly what's going on, why it won't open. But if you look at the top of the box, you're gonna see a seal that has little arrows pointing in one direction. All you have to do is grab your nail or anything you can scratch off the little corner with, get that seal up, and then peel it right off. Once you peel it right off, you'll be able to open that baby right up, and then inside you're gonna find a black sleeve. It kind of opens up like a book, but basically it's gonna look just like this right here. Once you open it up, it's gonna look just like this. And I wanted to show you really quick what exactly is in this case and where they're located, because some people sometimes miss things when it comes to this particular sleeve. For instance, on this side right here where I'm pointing out right now, that's where you're going to find your Fire Stick. Okay, right underneath the Fire Stick right there, you're going to find the power adapter. Now don't go too much on this picture. That power adapter looks different because this is a European power adapter, not a US one. But nonetheless, your US power adapter will be there. Obviously, if you're in Europe, it will be the European one. And then you're going to find the Fire Stick remote right here, as you can see where I'm circling. And then to the bottom of that, you're going to find the two AAA batteries that you're going to need to power that remote. If we look on the other side where the manual is, where it says Fire Stick TV right here, right in that section inside, you're going to find the USB cable, and that's used to power the Fire Stick. And this is the part that most people miss. They pull everything out except this part, and since you don't really need to use it, people just kind of forget about it or not even realize it's there. But in this video, I'm going to show you how important this part is, and this is going to be the HDMI extender that's located right here. Okay, once we pull everything out of the box, it's going to look just like this. As you can see, you got the AAA batteries, you got the HDMI extender I was just talking about, the USB cable, the power adapter, the Fire Stick, and the Alexa voice remote. Now, once you have all those things out of the box, now I'm going to show you how to get everything started and hooked up. So the first thing that most people do when they grab their Fire Stick is grab it and go straight behind the TV, and then you want to plug it into an HDMI input like we're doing here. Well, is this wrong? This is not wrong. Most people do that and it works fine, but I want to show you guys something that you should do. Is you never ever want to go without the HDMI extender, regardless of whether you have a HDMI port on the side of the Fire Stick like you see here, or if you had one that's directly behind the television. And let me show you a picture of a Fire Stick directly behind the television that looks just like this right here. Okay, now going back to the first picture that I was showing you, this one right here. If you have a television that has the HDMI on the side, you can plug it in like this. But what I really want you to do is not forget about the HDMI extender. This HDMI extender, it's meant for you to be able to plug in your Fire Stick in like a wall-mounted television, especially if your HDMI it's only available like this. As you can see in this picture, you plugged in a Fire Stick directly behind it. Imagine if this TV is wall mounted and you have very little room between your wall and your TV, obviously you're not going to be able to plug in that Fire Stick there because it's not going to fit. It's just got a big stick sticking out of the back of it, and it's gonna obviously hit the wall, or it's not going to fit in between the gap of the wall and the television. This is why this extender was included in the box, because you plug in this extender and now it'll look just like this. So when you plug it in, you can bend the Fire Stick down, that extender will bend, and it will not damage anything, it will not damage your television, and you'll be able to plug in your Fire Stick to it. This is very important. This is very important even if you have a side HDMI input like this right here, because then you'll be able to plug in your Fire Stick using the extender like this on the side, and then it'll look just like this hanging down. Why is it important even if you have a side HDMI? Because I always encourage my customers to take their Fire Sticks when they're traveling. Whether you're going to a family or friend's house, or whether or not you're going to be staying at a hotel room, you'll be able to plug in your Fire Sticks into the hotel room. But if that TV happens to be mounted on the wall, or if you're in a friend or family's house which they have their TV mounted on the wall, if you don't have that extender, then you're not going to be able to plug in that Fire Stick, because most TVs are very close to the wall, and you won't be able to get that Fire Stick on there. By keeping the extender with the Fire Stick at all times, even if you're using it on a side mounted TV, then whenever you're traveling, or if you just need to swap out that TV to another room that happens to be wall mounted, or if one day you decide to wall mount your TV, you're going to have a harder time trying to find this extender, and you'll probably find yourself going back into Amazon and purchasing one when you already had it in the first place. If you keep everything together, guys, less chance of you having to need it and not find it, less chance of that happening. So my recommendation, no matter which way you're plugging in your Fire Stick to your television, this needs to be plugged into your Fire Stick in the first place. So now, how do you plug this extender to your Fire Stick? It's pretty simple. It obviously, in one end, it has an HDMI male, which is going to be hooking up to your television, and then the other side right here is going to have the HDMI female, which you're going to plug in your Fire Stick directly. And which part of the Fire Stick? Well, obviously it's going to be this part right here. This is the part that you're going to be hooking up to the Fire Stick itself. On this tip, you're going to plug in that extender right to this, and then you'll be able to go ahead and plug it into your TV like this. And it'll either look like this if you have the HDMI directly behind the TV, or it will look like this if you have the HDMI on the side of your television. Either way, plug that in. Now we're going to move on to the next cable. The next cable is going to be this USB cable. This is the power cable for the Fire Stick. Now you have this big part right here, that's the USB part. And you have this part right here, which is the micro USB part of the Fire Stick. So let's start off with the micro USB part. Where does that plug in? If you look at the Fire Stick and you look at the side of it, it's going to look like this. You're going to have a micro USB input, and it's going to say power right underneath it, and that's where that micro USB part plugs into the side of the Fire Stick. Okay, the Fire Stick does not get charged. I get asked that question quite often. You cannot charge a Fire Stick, unplug this cable, and still work it. No, Fire Stick has to be powered at all times. It's not like a cell phone. It does not have an internal battery. So you have to have this powered at all times in order for the Fire Stick to work. So once you got that micro USB plugged into the Fire Stick, now you're left with the other end, which is the USB part. Where does that go? Okay, the recommended part of plugging this into for power, you want to plug it into the power adapter, which is this piece right here, and you want to plug in the USB into that. And then obviously you want to move to the next step where you want to plug it into an outlet, which is going to look like this, guys. You got the micro USB going to the side of the Fire Stick, and then the other USB part going to the adapter, and then into an outlet, and that's how you power the Fire Stick. At least it's one of the ways that you power the Fire Stick. On this video, I'm going to be talking about the alternate way that you can power the Fire Stick. Ultimately, on this next picture shows you me plugging it into the wall here and then going into the TV. That's how it goes. Okay. But now let's look at the alternative way of powering your Fire Stick. Now you can do it this way if you have a TV on a TV stand, you know, or it's not wall mounted. You can have it like that. Even if it's wall mounted, you can still have it like that if you don't mind the cable hanging down, or you have a way of hiding the cable and then you have an extra outlet. But the alternate way, and I gotta say this first though, this is an alternate way if your television supports it. Some TVs do, some TVs don't. The alternate way is to plug, instead of plugging that USB part right here into the adapter, we're going to take that USB part and go directly to the USB on your television, and it will look like this. Now obviously this is a very short cable. Your cable is going to be much longer than that. It's about 5 feet, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 5 feet or something like that. But this is just a small cable just for the demonstration I'm showing you. We'll go from the Fire Stick to the USB on the television, and then the USB will power the Fire Stick, assuming your TV supports it. And let's talk about that for just one moment. Most of the big screen TVs will support anything over 44 inches, 42 inches, something like that. Or some 32 inches will do it as well. It just depends on the brand, guys. But most of the large TVs will do it. A lot of the small TVs will not power it, and if they do, they only power it for a short period of time. So this is a very great way to power the Fire Stick, especially if you have a wall-mounted TV and it's a big screen, because you don't have to worry about finding an additional outlet, and you don't have to worry about wires hanging down your TV. You just bundle that up, put a little zip tie on it when you roll it up, and just plug it in behind your TV. And you shouldn't have any cables hanging down, and that should power the Fire Stick. Now, here's one thing that could happen. If obviously, if it powers the Fire Stick and the Fire Stick stays on, and it stays on for more than 30 minutes without rebooting itself, without just shutting off, and then all of a sudden you see the Fire Stick rebooting, then you're good, you're golden. You can leave it as that source of power, and you're not going to have any issues. You might get a pop-up on the Fire Stick stating that insufficient power, but you can just dismiss that. As long as the Fire Stick is powered and it doesn't shut off, you can just dismiss that pop-up whenever it comes up, and the Fire Stick should not give you any problems. Okay. However, if your Fire Stick is plugged into the USB on the TV, and you notice that after 10, 15, 20 minutes of you watching, all of a sudden it just shuts off and then reboots on its own, it's because the USB is set on a timer that was made by the manufacturer of the TV. There's nothing you can do in settings to change that of the television. That's just the way that USB is going to work. That was mostly probably only meant to update the television or to use it as for photos and stuff like that. Either way, you can no longer use that USB as a power source for the Fire Stick, because every 10, 15, or 20 minutes, however long your TV took to reset it, it's going to reset it every single time. You can't watch a movie or a show if it resets every 15, 20 minutes. So you definitely have to use the power adapter, and you want to plug it into an outlet. At that point, you won't have a choice. If you're running stuff through walls, you might need to purchase a longer micro USB cable from Amazon. I'm going to put a couple of links on the description of this video if you do need a longer one that you have to run through the wall because your TV does not support to power the Fire Stick. Okay. Obviously, if you plug in the USB to the television and it doesn't power the Fire Stick at all, well, there's your answer. You can't get power through that USB, so you have to go to adapter. The only way to test it is to plug it in and wait at least 30 minutes and notice that the Fire Stick stays on, and you're golden. You don't have to worry about using any power adapter or outlet to power your Fire Stick. However, don't lose the power adapter, because again, if you're traveling with that Fire Stick, it doesn't mean that the next television you plug it into will power the Fire Stick using the USB on the television. If you happen to forget it, the great thing is that you can use any power adapter from a cell phone or anything else you got laying around the house. It's not going to damage the Fire Stick in any way, and you're good to go. Vice versa, you can also use this power adapter for your cell phone if you happen to forget yours and you happen to be on the road. You can use it to charge your cell phone with your cell phone charger. Okay? So now that we got that out of the way, remember that once it's plugged into the side of the TV using the USB on the television, it's going to look like this, or it's going to look like this. Again, this is for the sake of demonstration. We're using a short power cable. But overall, even if you did have a short power cable, really based on what I told you so far on this video, it should look like this right here, where you see that it has the HDMI adapter plugged into the Fire Stick, and then the power going to the USB on the television, or the power going to the USB to the outlet. Okay, so that is how you plug in a Fire Stick to your television. The last thing I'm going to tell you is that whatever HDMI input that you put it into, like I was showing you right here where it shows you the HDMIs, it's got HDMI 3 that this one is being plugged into, but you have HDMI 2 and you have HDMI 1. You want to make sure that you look at that. Take a good glimpse on it, because that's going to be very important information for the next step that I'm going to show you in the next video. But basically, you just want to put the input on your television matching the HDMI input that you plugged in your Fire Stick. Meaning, if you plugged it in into HDMI number 3, like shown on this picture, you want to go to input HDMI number 3 on your television to see what the Fire Stick is showing. Okay, so for the rest of the installation part, when it comes to the settings, all, you know, logging in your information and getting all the way to the home screen of your Fire Stick, I do have a link in the description below for that video. I didn't want to make this one too long. That's going to show you that. And I have 2 links actually. I have one link for a brand new Fire Stick that came out of the box for the first time. And I also have a link for a program Fire Stick that you might have gotten from somebody. Why? Because the initial setup through that part, they're a little different once a Fire Stick has been programmed versus a Fire Stick that's never been programmed and it's just a brand new Fire Stick. So look at the description below, click on the appropriate link, and leave me a comment if there's a question or something that you want to mention. If you like this video, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know below. There it is, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to leave your comments below and I will get to them as soon as possible. I can't leave without asking you for your support, so if you could please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and the most important thing is ring that bell notification so you get notified every single time they post a brand new video. You have been watching DFM TV. I am Dan the Fire Stick Man, your source for entertainment. Until the next video, happy streaming.